Good morning, everybody. Welcome into PM and the AM show. Whew, a whole new edition. And man, this just you know what, fellas? I know what. First of all, good morning, Mike. How you
Morning,
doing,
Pat.
buddy?
Morning, Al.
Morning, boys.
You know what, guys? You know what I'm starting to take in about Philadelphia sports? It's like a big giant glory hole. You just walk in there and you just are, you get two things. You walk in there and your mouth gets loaded with surprises and it's jaw dropping, or two, it's just going to be discomfort and you're going to walk out with some major pain and upset. So, sorry, sorry, Mike, but I'm just, you just put your mouth right on that glory hole and you don't know what's going to happen next. I'll tell you.
Okay with that one. Oh, wow. How do I follow that? Hell.
What the
Guys,
excitement?
a great show. Everybody good. Enjoy the weekend. Go Birds. Have a great one.
There's a lot of. Never mind. But anyway, guys.
Is that Jack Daniels still in there? 30 seconds old. I'm already going to need a shot.
No, just look. Listen, there's been tons of action with the Philadelphia sports scene right now, and let's keep it a bean here. It's been the teams that we've been wanting to play against. We've seen the Flyers against the Penguins last night. We've seen on Friday night we saw the Sixers and Boston Celtics. We've seen to your lacrosse guys, and make sure you guys check them out. 9:00 tonight. Me, Gary, the whole all across all the time. We're going to be talking Wings and the New York Riptide, but even still, the Wings get a nice dub, and of course the heavyweight fight that's going to happen tonight. The whole nation's going to be watching this one. But anyway.
So you said I'm going to need a drink already, and I don't drink much.
Well, I'm saying, hang out with Pat for about 5 minutes.
Hey.
You'll be drinking more than ever.
Well, you know what, Mike? You did a phenomenal job yesterday on the Flyers post-game show. I got to give you credit. And it's almost like you can almost feel what I'm thinking about from home. I guess
no, I can't, because that is an area I never want to be in.
A gray area?
No, your mind.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. But we're going to touch on the Flyers. It was really nice for them to get a win in that building last night. The Ice Pigeons kind of had our number there. They were 8-1 in the last 9 games against the Flyers there. And again, Pat, you're taking a look at it. The two young guys, Forrester and Tippett, lighting the lamp yesterday.
Shorty was amazing too. So it was
and the Flyers. Listen, man, their penalty kill has been outstanding.
Yeah, and Mike, first of all, to go with everything you're saying, Tyson Foster, right? Just been lighting the lamp as of late, just coming up huge for them. And a lightning rod again. If you wanted to, you could say he was the player of the game yesterday. It just being all
one of them. He was one of them. You got to give Arison some credit too. I felt like
I'm going to say the Arison conversation, because I've seen a couple people from this family, from the Edge of Philly Sports family, kind of getting their nipples twisted with me already, and I'm going to save it. 2 primary names are here on the Edge of Philly Sports, and I'm going to, we're going to start twisting some nipples.
Is somebody twisting something else?
Well, it just sounds like it. It's tiny enough. They found it, but Mike, just to go back to Tyson Foster looked really, really good. He's getting a couple goals. He was in the right spots. The Flyers kind of like the goals that the Penguins got yesterday was kind of like fluky. You're right. I mean, it was all reflections and all this stuff, bounce passes.
The Grenzel's first goal.
Yeah, off the skate.
I thought that was kind of a kicking motion a little bit.
Yes.
It did look like, and I was like, I don't think the Flyers are going to get that call. I mean, he didn't, push it forward. His foot was going forward, and it was like as soon as the puck hit his skate, he kind of stopped his forward momentum with his foot. But again, that's Mark Stahl, dude. Mark Stahl, you got to get him out. You got to clear him out of there.
Mike, to steal your thunder a little bit, if I could get him and Rusty Island traded for a Zamboni,
I'll tell you what.
I'll take the Zamboni.
Risto had a nice game. Risto had a nice game.
Yeah, but he got stupid with the back cross check yesterday. He didn't need to do that. It cost the Flyers 2 minutes. Again, like you said, though, the Penguins, their goals were fluky yesterday. Not really. My man dies. What's up? Yes, we are talking nipples. Whatever you want, just whip them out.
At 9 p.m. to roast Pat about Higgins. Mike needs to call in right now.
You know what, Mike? I'll save you for later, buddy.
So, just so everybody knows, we did announce this, and it will be happening shortly. But the phone lines are going to be open here at EOP. We will let you know. Just for those who are chiming in, we will let you know when the time is. Pretty much when you see. Let me have it ready for you. When you see this, you can call in. It's just a test.
Oh, my Lord. I can't wait to hear the people on the program line. So
the program line.
Yeah,
but Mike. Swallowed 2 cheese, sausage, egg, and cheeses right there when he said that.
Oh, on both sides of the cheeks. Mike, I got to give it to you, though. The Flyers haven't played very well at the Igloo. Matter of fact, they haven't had a win since April 15th of 2021.
Right. They were 1-8 going into last night's game. Previous to that, though, if you take a look, hey guys, I wanted my life back watching Michigan and Iowa game last night. That game was fixed. You think? I mean, pretty much, just a little. I'm going to jump on this for a second.
Good.
Harbaugh pretty much came out in the middle of the week and said it was a glorified scrimmage, and then they go out and win 26-0. So,
way to play some shadows.
Yeah, I mean,
but Mike, getting back in this conversation, like I said, the Flyers look pretty good again. This team's playing very, very well. You mentioned about Owen Tippett. We got to give this kid some credit because if there's anyone in Philadelphia sports, I have 3 guys kind of listed as like gold star worthy. Hassan Reddick, D'Anthony Milton, Owen Tippett. These guys have really stepped up their games here.
And Tyson Forrester.
Yeah, these guys, that's become like a 1-2 punch. And then even, you saw the game goes into overtime. I'm thinking, it goes into a shootout. I'm thinking, no way, the Flyers don't have
Flyers
a shot.
never, ever win shootouts. And for Erickson, after last night, he had a huge, huge save against Sid the Kid, who's now about 50.
Again,
how old is Crosby now?
I have no idea. I feel like we've been watching him for like 30 years.
I feel like I've been hating him since I was 20.
Yeah. I forget. I mean, he's got to be late 30s. I think Malkin's 37.
I'm going to say he's around the
36.
Yeah, I'm going to say he's middle-aged 30s.
But I'll tell you what, watching that last night, again, Erickson found out afterwards, they said on telecast, he was 7 for 7 in shootouts, which means he hasn't allowed the goal. And if you look at the 3 guys that they sent up there, Pittsburgh, they sent the guy Getzel, who had 2 goals in the game.
Yes.
Then they sent Crosby, and then they sent the kid Rust, who was 5 for 6 in shootouts. And he turned them all away, man, last night. So I said it last night. The only thing I'm a little concerned with is the power play. The power play right now on the road is like 1 for 31 or 1 for 32, something like that after last night's game. They got to get that going.
Yeah, I totally agree. If there's going to be a gray area with this team, it's the power play. They got to get that fixed. However, they did get a power play goal with Foster. I was really, like I said, this team's been playing well. They are clicking. And believe it or not, Scott Lofton, who's been on a 12-game scoring drought, actually had one of the most creative. Like I had to rub my eyes 3 times when I saw it. I mean,
that was a great goal.
The deke he put on, I was just like, wow. But I need to get into something with you fellas. Because you know where I'm going to go with this.
Crosby's 100.
Crosby was drafted the year after the Eagles lost in the Super Bowl.
That's 05.
With McNabb. Put it that way.
So,
I've been hating him for the most of for a big portion of my life.
Yes, same here. I mean, look, I got to give the guy credit. He's been a Flyers killer for that long.
He's the dude that you don't like, but if he's got your sweater
on, my gosh, you're getting attacked right on the catch.
I'll tell you what.
I don't know, dude. I don't know if I can like him.
Bull. If he was wearing that Flyers crest on you would.
Then again, I didn't get over Yager. I guess because I hated Yager.
Yeah, we all did. But as soon as he put that Flyers jersey on and started setting Giroux up for goals, he made Giroux a star. So,
it's crazy. Like the guy said, one of his favorite sports movies of all time was Rocky, and we still hate him even more. Like I saw that in the paper once. I was just like, really? So, but again, like I said, that guy's been really good. Again, this is one of the top, if you want to, top 10 players of all time.
I'll tell you what, that Pittsburgh team too. I mean, they're pretty good. You know what I mean? I know it's not showing in the standings, but I mean they still got some players over there. I mean, like Letang, he got the ball rolling last night. I mean, he just shot the puck at the net.
Father Time might be catching up with those guys. That's okay. You know,
them in Washington.
Those guys know how to find players. Like, you know, I know how to spot good cookies. So, you know, they do a good job. They're playing very well. But again, I got to give this Flyers team good credit. Again, they played very well. And how about Cooch come up with that nice, tremendous shootout goal?
Oh my God, he beat him bad.
Yeah, he did.
He beat him so bad on that. And I was here in studio watching the game. Oh my Lord, dude! But he made Jari look like a rented goalie.
Mike, you know where I'm about to go with this. You know, Flyer fans are about to get on my Knish. I know I've heard it from a lot of our family here. I've heard it from the great Jason Martinez. I've heard it from, Bill Furman checked into your show, and he was one of those guys. Even my man, Freddie Burns, told me to let it go. And no, I'm going to stand on this island, clothes or not. I'm going to stand on this, and going to go.
Be clothed.
And, Sam Harrison, for the past 2 weeks, has looked a little better than Carter Hart. Carter Hart's let some softies in when he starts the games off, and then, it's a crapshoot after that. Sam Harrison, though, the couple games that he's been in during this, against the Islanders and all that stuff, he's been lights out. He's been money.
He has. But for me, I think it's a mindset of the players. I got to stop that. My wife corrected me last night. She goes, "You say too much." Looking at the games that Hart has started over Eriksson, it just seems like the defense plays a little harder for Eriksson than they do for Hart. Like, I'll give you a perfect example. Last night, there was guys getting in the firing lanes all night.
Yes.
Nick Seeler had about 6 block shots just himself last night.
His ribcage should be feeling it this morning.
Yeah. I mean, he was throwing his body all out there. I think really when Hart's in net, they feel like he can make some of these other saves that maybe Eriksson might not be able to. So I don't think it's there as much.
Could you imagine if this is true?
Wow.
I'm just saying, there's a report that Torch is getting the team prepared to play with Mitchkov, which is super exciting. Like, is that like this year or for next year? Like Dives, don't tease me, man.
Yes.
Don't tease me.
Well, I think if for them to do that, they'd have to buy out his KHL contract,
Which I think is nothing into the NHL. I mean, money wise, I don't think it's a problem. It's if
that was the case, then why didn't they just bring him right here?
Because they didn't have to. Because why would you?
So
right now, you don't have to. Let him season and not have to spend the money. But if you think you're ready in this team, like right now, I'm looking at the standings right now. I'm not doing this for any reason, but just to point out a fact of how tight everything is. I mean, the Flyers right now are in 5th place. Points wise, they are tied with the Caps and the Islanders at 26 points. The Hurricanes are in front in 2nd place at 29 points. The Rangers have a pretty good point lead at 35. But between 2nd and last place, there's only 9 points. From 29 to 20 points is the differential.
So they are sitting tied at the second wild card spot on the outside looking in. I mean, they are tied for that last wild card spot. And granted, I know April is still some time away, but look at this, guys. And I took some notes down on this one. So the Flyers are in the month of November, which I've stated they struggled in the last couple of years. Flyers are now 7-6 in the month of November. Last year they were 3-12 at the third in the whole Eastern Conference. The year before that, in 2021, they are 4-9, and they were 2nd at the bottom of the conference. So they are still breathing. We still have good quality hockey going on, and we might be asking ourselves, how are they still here?
This is the first time we're over 500 in November.
In November,
in 3 years,
yeah.
Henry Ant said he's thinking of next year.
Listen, that might happen, but still, for what this team is and for what they have, on the ice, I mean, this is good. Again, these are young legs. They're coming together. The guys are starting to mature on the ice. Again, Foster's starting to find himself.
Like you said, and you still got Cutter Gunther coming, who's tearing up the NCAA in hockey. He's tearing it up there for Boston.
And Mitchkov is a human highlight reel over to KHL.
Yeah, so
I mean, the Flyers got some talent. They got some players coming on the way. So, I mean,
this is just an appetizer.
Yeah, it's looking good.
Guys like Forrester are starting to look, coming in their own.
Morgan Frost has actually kind of picked his game up a little bit. He should have had a penalty called on him last night when he deked into the middle and he got tripped up. But for me, like I said, it all breaks down to, we're talking about last night's game. You really, really got to give Arison his due. He just both, like I said, 2 of their 3 goals were. I mean, the only decent one was the one that they scored with 20 seconds left to go in the game.
That
was a legit goal, and Erickson really didn't have a shot.
I also that's the only one that got by. Like even that one off of Chris Letang yesterday, it looked like
he's listening to this while we decorate the streets, hanging balls.
He's playing with his balls while he's listening to you. Pat.
Sounds like a good time. Who needs their pants around their ankles? What's up? So anyway, Mike, like I said though, yesterday's game,
Al over there choking.
There goes me, my man Brian. What's up, Brian? Oh man, a good time last night as always. But like I said, Mike, this Flyers team looks pretty good. Again, we were just talking about the first goal that really got by unintentionally. That came off of Sanheim's stick.
Yeah,
that went back in the net, and Arison and Travis Sanheim, like you said, all right, we'll let that go. But again, like this team looks really, really well, and for what they have displayed on the ice, we didn't think of this. We just thought all-Mac tank. However, I did say in the beginning, I'm like, this team might be sneakily good. Just be on the lookout, because I will give Chuck Fletcher that one due. Him bringing in Owen Tippett might have been the best thing he's done for this team.
You had to trade Giroux.
You had to trade Giroux. But you're not going to give Giroux away for nothing. I mean,
did you really think of anything of Owen Tippett at the time?
Yeah, he was pretty good. If you remember, we had the conversation. Remember, I said this kid's pretty good. I said I felt like they got fair value back for him.
And they did, and he's been.
Giroux was only a rental for them.
Yes.
And no offense, and I love Giroux like the next guy, but Giroux pretty much told him where he wanted to go. So they were kind of like
they they didn't trade Giroux where they wanted, because they could have got a lot better prospect. Out of it, so, he told them where they wanted to go.
Yeah. So guys, the Flyers look very, 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 very good. Like I said, Sam Arison.
Get your head out of the gutter.
Sam Arison looks really, really good. I mean, the young guns are blazing right now for the Philadelphia Flyers, the Fosters of the world. Again,
Austin saying the Flyers are giving their fans something they didn't think they would have this year, which is hope.
Which is one of the worst things I always said you can give a Philly sports fan is hope.
So, Al, real fast before we change gears here, what's your take on the Flyers right now, from what you're seeing?
Everything I thought from the beginning. Like, they're a good young team who's going to go out and not tank, but play a good, learn, grow in front of us. That's what we want. See what we have, because, like I said, this team doesn't have to tank. They have draft picks. They have some good young talent, and they might have guys that may not be here in the next year or two that they could parlay us into some veteran talent. So there's many ways of getting guys and building a team in here. And I just feel like the Flyers are doing it for the right time, for the right way, the first time in a long time.
Same, like I said, you guys, the Flyers get some guys who can contribute, like the Scott Loftons, the TKs of the world, the Coots. That's good. Obviously they're the veteran pieces to this team, and they're going to score when they can. But for the young legs, showing a lot of promise. You got to be happy. Like I said, we talked about Sam Arison. He caught my eye right away last year from seeing what he could do in the between the pipes. The Tyson Fosters again, just creating havoc.
Yeah, this is where he caught his eye, by the way.
Hello.
Yeah,
right between the pipes.
Yeah, there goes that blister. Hold on, trying to fix it. There you go. But yeah, like I said, a lot of promise going with the Philadelphia Flyers right now. Like I said,
sorry. I got Mike.
It's far too early for this.
But let's shift gears a little bit.
Before we shift gears, and speaking of the Flyers, PhillySportsTrips.com has the Stadium Series ready for you. February 17th, 2024 at MetLife. Go to PhillySportsTrips.com. Sign up now. Head up there. It's, first part, very inexpensive. A great Christmas present for any of your Flyers fans out there. Or if you're a fan have a fan who's a friend who's a fan or a family member, check it out, PhillySportsTrips.com. The next trip is the Seattle trip, which, by the way, got flexed, guys. So Vince had to spend like 24 straight hours fixing everything because of the flexing of this game. But he did it because that's what Vince and the Philly Sports Trips do. And also, you want to take a bus trip, go to New York and watch maybe the Eagles slay the Giants a little bit. Yeah, Slay, I can use that for you. But other than that, we are back.
Yeah, Mike, so before we get out of here talking about the Flyers, though, tomorrow, Monday, Flyers, Penguins, back to back here though in South Philly. Mike, how are you feeling? Should they roll with the same Harrison, or you? Obviously, I'm pretty sure we're going to feel that Carhart will be between the net.
Don't be so sure of that, my friends, as Lee Corso would say. Don't be so sure of that. I think Erickson might get the start.
Again,
I think he might get the start. They got a day off today, Pat. So it's not like they're playing back to back.
No, but I'm excited. So,
I think they can. I think you give Carter a nice little seat. You let Erickson roll out there and let.
So how can they
let make it hard for this Penguins team? Because to be honest with you, I thought the Flyers really carried the play yesterday. They were just as fast as they were. They were physical. So I think tomorrow you roll with them. I think you roll with Erickson. He's the hot hand right now.
Yeah, like I said, he's been.
Tell Carter, have a seat. Drink some
he's
water,
he's been spectacular between the pipes. You have Foster's been really really well, and again Owen Tippett. Those guys are steamrolling. I think tomorrow again. I think the Flyers take the series here. I think they come home.
Too. I think it's more. I don't think it goes to overtime though. I'm looking like a 4-2 win tomorrow for the Flyers.
I'm just saying I think Danny Briere still has his mind on the prize. I expect him to sell at the trade deadline. I'd be shocked if Atkinson and Lofton are still on the team.
I would agree with that. Atkinson can leave today.
Yes, good point. I think though. I don't know.
This is a good point. This is a good point.
What's that? Oh, the phone lines are open. So, guys, if you guys want to chime in, this is the time for you. You see it, guys. We're talking Flyers right now, but we're going
just so everybody knows, it's real quick. It's real easy. One phone call at a time.
Yes.
If this is not up there, don't call in until you see this message on the bottom of the screen. The phone lines are open. Call. We'll take one call at a time. Give everybody a few minutes to talk. We're going to be talking. We're going to be moving into, of course, a lot of Eagles-Niners talking shortly, as well as touching on any other Philly sports conversation you guys want to talk about.
So, Al, Friday night, the 76ers. No Joel Embiid, no Tyrese Maxey, no Nick Batum. And yet, even though the Sixers lost, they gave this Boston Celtics team that was loaded with all their stars a dogfight. They took them down to the wire. Al, I mean, what's your take on this game? Because what I saw was a hungry Patrick Beverley who was scrapping, getting 8 rebounds. He looked very good. Just finding the net again, just hustling in the paint. D'Anthony Melton kind of taking the role of that Tyrese Maxey, just dishing in the paint. Just no fear of attacking the paint, and again doing what he does best, shooting from the perimeter. You had Mo Bamba who came in the third and just was on fire with 2 back-to-back threes, and then he was down in the paint, just being the big body that he is, and just dunking away. But our man dies on the post-game show. I had hope he had his blood pressure medicine right next to him because Tobias Harris looked very good. He was run the floor, and then Tobias Harris kind of in that second half was the back of a milk carton. So, Al, what's your take on the 76ers without their stars?
I mean, listen, I'm not much for moral victories, but I mean, if you're missing one of the best players in the NBA and you're going up against a top-seeded team, you're doing something right. You're missing Tyrese Maxey, who's a rising star. You're doing something right. Pat Bev does not surprise me any which way. I wish we just had Pat Bev a few years ago when he was more in his prime. But Tobias Harris is Tobias Harris again. I always preface with that.
Comes back to square one.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like it's. I'm not shocked in any which way.
So, what if I was to tell you though? Patrick Beverley, 26 points. D'Anthony Melton, 21. Rocco with 18 solid points. And I spoke with Daz and Sean Bernard. I said one thing about Rocco, like when he has that Nick Foles feeling to him. He can't play anywhere else besides here. And when he puts on that Sixers jersey, it means the world to him. Like that, he carries the Philly pride. He's really, really good, especially on defense. Like he forces people to turn over the ball. Like he's nasty on the perimeter defense. So I love what he's doing. And I especially, like I said, Nick Nurse has now found a way. No Embiid, no problem. And I feel like he's doing a terrific, a good job with it.
I don't know about no problem.
No, but I mean, again, the first couple of games, again, Wednesday, they played against, I'm drawing a blank here,
Pelicans.
The Pelicans. And again, they looked like they were completely lost on the floor. But I guess they were told he wasn't going to be in Friday's game. So I guess he had a little bit of time to prepare. and he got the best out of these guys, really grinding out rebounds.
I mean, if you look
on the
at
floor.
they really, without Embiid, if Embiid plays either one of those games, the Sixers win. And the fact that they didn't have Maxey and Embiid for Friday's game, that says a lot about their bench. I think their bench is pretty legit. Now you can't expect
Which
Pat
is the
Bev
first time you can say that in a long
in
time.
a long time, right? Exactly. So moving forward, now you got a bench that could fill it in a game or two spot. I wouldn't want Pat Bev running my offense. There's a reason why he's bounced around the last few years. So I don't.
Well,
I just look at it as it's a regular season.
Here's
win.
Times takes real quick.
Yeah.
Tobias Harris needs to be benched. I wish Pat Bev was on this team several years ago because he would have won us some playoff games. I agree with that. Pat Bev is a gamer, like Austin said just a moment ago. He is a gamer, and he plays with a ton of energy, even though he's been on the older side. But the team will not win without Embiid.
No, absolutely.
And in Maxey on top. If you had Maxey in the game, for the love of God, what would have the difference been?
And
your three top scorers
so,
right now. Isn't Batum one of the top after Embiid? And trying to think who else is the third top scorer. Well, he's probably up there if he was playing more, I guess, per game. I guess if you look at it.
And one thing, the refs were horrible on Friday. Like, I'm not trying to take sides, but I mean, my God, like some of the calls were just outrageous. And I'll tell you what, like another thing that could have really helped the Sixers is that Jason Tatum, somewhere in the third quarter, he got fouled out. This was a perfect opportunity for the Sixers, to take this game. Granted, they didn't, but again, you start to see some guys kind of step up their roles a little bit. And I really, really appreciate it, especially, like I said, a B-ball Paul, Mo Bamba coming into the game in the second half. Rocco, who like I said, stepped up, shooting the lights out from the perimeter and all those things. So, again, D'Anthony Melton looked really, really solid. Again, hustling in the paint. Like, there was one play, he grabbed the ball, and he banged his kneecap off the court, and he just got up and shook it off. I was like, wow, that's a warrior. And then, again, run the floor. Both sides is Patrick Beverly. I was like, wow, they really brought their A game.
Angry Ants chiming in here. I'm not a fan of Rocco. Tobias Harris needs to work at IHOP because he's terrible. The Sixers would have won that game if they could finish around the rim because there was a lot of opportunities to finish around the rim, and they didn't.
Yeah, well, look, but like Al just said, that's the part of not having Embiid on the floor. And if he was on the floor, it's a whole different ball game. Batum, Rocco, and Oubre give you 100% more than what Tobias Harris brings you. Totally agree. And listen, my man, like I said Friday, his blood pressure was at the ceiling. I'd never seen my man Tobias. Never saw my man Dives so angry. Like he's usually that happy good guy. But my man, if he had an opportunity to put his fist through a door, that Friday night could have been it. So,
just a reminder, guys, the phone lines are open at 484-202-0328. Again, 484-202-0328.
Exactly. So, let me ask you guys before we get into the Eagles talk. Do you think, since the as stipulation with this whole in-game season tournament, do you think they kind of behind the scenes said you guys can have more load management time? Because do you buy that? Let's keep it real. Like ever since the Sixers got knocked out of this load management. Oh, we got a caller on the lines. Hello, what's going on, buddy?
Gentlemen, good morning. It is Austin.
Oh, Austin, what are you doing on the phone line?
Dude, I'm still waiting for my managers to show up at my job because I got here at 9 o'clock and the store opens at 10. I'm the only one here.
Oh,
either way, I did want to chime in about the Tobias Harris stuff. I 100% agree with that, dude. The man for the past this whole season so far, he has one or two good games and then just comes out flat for a long period of time. And I really do hope that we get rid of him at the deadline because I'm getting really tired of this guy. He's supposed to be our third piece, and it's kind of hard to have a third piece when 80% of the time he's nowhere to be found. It baffles me.
Yeah, and like I said, that's like I said, we discussed that on Friday. Like that is true, Austin. Like he is nowhere to be found in the second half. He's looked pretty bad. I mean, he had no points in that second half, none. I mean, when is he going to contribute in that second half? Like he's getting paid again. This goes back to square one of him getting paid big money.
again, and Austin, I agree with you. And like I always have to say this. I don't dislike Tobias, but I don't love Tobias either. But there is times he comes up small. There's times that if he gets in his own head, he becomes his own worst enemy. And I think that's what happened that second half. He's a guy like just wasn't hitting it, and then he was square pegs round hole situation. Angry Ann here has the best comment of the day, by the way. Even Anna Horford could have finished around the rim.
And listen,
seriously.
You talk about Al Horford. I mean, he was cooked in the paint. I mean, regardless,
dude, Al Horford's like 170.
I know, but he usually plays
around the rim.
Yeah, well, he's usually plays well for them. But I mean, I think this year is father time.
I love you guys, but you guys are diving way too much into this one game. I mean, I take away from it is this: the new NBA. There's load management. There's going to be games he's not going to be in there. All right, Maxey wasn't in there, and even with those two guys not in there, they came up just short of beating the Celtics, who are the best team right now in the Eastern Conference. So that just tells me that when they do have these guys in there, they're going to be right there. I mean, to look at if and what. I mean, okay, Tobias Harris disappears a lot in the regular season. But I'll tell you what, the guy's probably your best postseason player that you've had that we've seen over the last 2 years.
That's been the problem. You're just a Tobias guy.
No, it's not that I'm a Tobias guy, but you guys, he disappears. He's on a milk carton. But guess what? When it counts, when it has to go, he's the guy that shows up on his team. He's not like you.
Where was he Friday night when there's two stars weren't there?
It's not the postseason.
So we have to wait till June for him to show up?
Hello? Wait. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just telling you facts.
Guys, we're talking about a guy who came up with Doc Rivers as his head coach. You really think he comes up big in the playoffs?
Yeah, Austin, he does. Go back and look at his numbers.
Yeah,
go back and look at his numbers. Tobias Harris is probably one of the better postseason performers for the Sixers over the last God knows how many years. He's been consistent in the postseason. So I'm not going to kill the guy because he doesn't win a game in December.
No, I can't because this was on his back for him to stand out like a star, especially with no Jason Tatum in the lineup. He should have easily took this game over.
Well,
and he was
doing.
Yeah, no, especially once Tatum left the game because you look at it, Pat Bev was our best performer that night for the most part.
Yeah,
Pat Beverly was our best performer.
Well, listen, Austin, we gotta let you go because we're getting ready to scrap up some bird talk, and I love talking some bird.
Man, awesome. I was going to say, I'm not going to keep you guys any longer. I appreciate y'all letting me call in. Have a great rest of the show, and go Birds.
Go later, Birds. Austin.
Oh, yeah. Well, listen, it is time. Listen, I could talk Sixers all day, but
yeah, I know.
Let's keep it a bean. We're here for one and one reason only. Mike, you know what day it is?
Yeah, it's the day we knocked out the 49ers.
Well, this is the heavyweight fight that everyone's been talking about.
So they're telling me.
But, I love Eagle fans, but there's been Eagle fans I've been hearing as of late who's been, I thought I was the guy who hides under the blanket naked, but no, there's been guys who are just not coming out of the closet, who are scared to death, who need to get a... Hey, who put that picture there? Hey, take that down. Who did that?
Yeah.
Hey, who's
a young Pat Bernard in his Niners jersey, ladies and gentlemen.
No, that's not me. That's my brother Pete Bernard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Pete and repeat over here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh man.
That could happen.
I don't know. Can 425 just get here?
So, Mike,
I'm tired of waiting. To be honest with you, I just want the Eagles to punch him in the mouth.
Has it felt like you've been waiting since the kickoff of the Patriots game, and you've been waiting for this game?
Yeah, it's been.
I mean, they just need to and I love it because you know what? Every person in America is rocking the 49ers today, and good, let them. But the last time I checked, 10-1's better than 8-3, and I'm sorry. I'm going to say this, and I'll be the first one to say it. I don't think today's game is going to be close.
I'm with you.
I think the Eagles are going to blow them out. The Eagles have been keeping them out.
You know why it's pouring raining? Because you and I are on the same page.
Probably. I think the Eagles have been quiet about this. They ain't really said too much other than Hassan Reddick on Monday said something, but it was about time he said something. Okay? For the whole offseason, since the Niners got eliminated, they've been whining, they've been bitching, they've been complaining. Their fans have been just, unbearable.
Yeah.
Most of them. I got some cool 49er fans that are really cool and kind of gave us our love. But for the most part, majority of Niners fans boo-hooing, oh, well, Purdy would have stayed in the game. Too bad. Your coach didn't bring an extra quarterback, and he was stupid to try to block an all-pro with a third-string tight end. So that's what happens. I recall when I started listening to the show, Pat, you were a Niners fan.
Oh, God, no, Arsenio, no. That was my brother Peepinar with the tie Brajol. No, that wasn't me.
Yeah. You don't have a brother, Pete. Don't let him lie to you guys. But no, getting back to this, I'm glad that Hassan Reddick opened his mouth and said something. You know what I mean? Everybody's thinking that this Niners team is just going to come in here and beat the Eagles.
Yeah.
I don't see it.
Well, I'm going to give you this one, Mike. So Dives has said, imagine if the Eagles stomped the Niners today. The reaction from the Niners nation and media would be amazing to watch.
Well, Dives, you better get ready for it because it's going to happen. This Eagles team is pissed.
I just want to know, what do you think the topic, if that does happen, what's the top excuse?
I don't know, but I want it to be a thorough ass whooping. I'm talking 37-17, a 20-point. Yeah, 20-point play. Because then there is no narrative. Now you got to look at the Eagles and say, okay, well, we all thought they were the best, and they just came here and got curb stomped. Now what is it going to be?
The Eagles become that team that to the Niners, like you just always seem to, no matter how good or bad, like the Eagles have the Niners number, or is it just?
Listen, they're going to come. Their best shot's probably going to be within the first quarter. If you can withstand their best shot in the first couple of series, I really think I think it's the Eagles' game. The Eagles are the better team. I don't want to hear Ayuk and Samuel are not better than A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith.
So, again, even though the Eagles have a better record, I still feel like there's more pressure on the 49ers because of the whole revenge X factor that's going into this game. The whole 9 yards, to prove that Brock Purdy could beat the Eagles and he's just some one-shot wonder, quarterback. All those intangibles going into today's game. But however, I just think with the weather playing an X factor, I just think with the fans as hungry as they are, that's going to be like half of Brock Purdy's problem. And then on top of that, nasty front four defense getting to him. Now I get it. Brock Purdy, if you watch him on Thanksgiving night, again, the 49ers had a 10-game rest. They should be all ready to go. No excuses for him. And I get it. He releases the ball quick. He has some time to throw the rock. I get all that. But I don't think he's seen a team that can take him down in a wire and walk out the other side.
Listen, I'm going to tell you this right now. That 49ers team has not played a front four like ours. Yeah, man, I can't talk this morning. A front floor. You almost got me to say it again.
Flying the rice.
Yeah, there you go. A front four like ours all season. And that's including playing Dallas. Dallas has got an okay front four. Like, they have good ends. They don't have and they have decent tackles. What's it going to be like when that offensive line's got to go up against those baby Bulldogs? No, that's not going to fly, dude. Like, they're going to he's going to have pressure in his face all day today.
One thing I've also noticed is that this Eagles team in 10 days, the Niners have rested and prepared for the Eagles. In a little bit more than that, the Eagles have played 3 games against good teams. Or we'll play 3 games. This will be the 3rd game. I'm sorry. Against 2 of them, very good teams, defending Super Bowl champions, the Chiefs, and one of the top teams in the AFC, the Bills, and got the best game out of Josh Allen. Game had to go to OT. Yet nobody's making an excuse that the Eagles.
No, the Eagles are lucky. To the whole national, we're just lucky. Like, I'm sorry, I'm going to go back over the last 6 games or 6 games or so. They played Miami here. Okay, they took what? Now Miami's got a very good offense, right? They only gave up 17 points.
8-3.
Okay, now the weekend after that, they played a very gritty Washington team.
Yes,
in Washington, they won there. Come back home, they play Dallas. They beat Dallas here.
Mm-hmm.
They have their bye week. They go on the road to probably one of the most hostile environments in the country. They don't get credit for beating the Chiefs. All you keep hearing is, Scantling holds on to the ball. They lose that game. How do you know that they lose that game? They would have taken the lead, but there still would have been time on the clock for Hurts to come down the field. So, but he didn't catch it. They didn't win. And again, Josh Allen, that's all you heard about this week, that if Gabe Davis catches the ball or if they're on the same page, they weren't. Mm-hmm. So let's give the Eagles their due. And that's the problem. They're not giving the Eagles their due. And if I'm the NFL, if I'm these people around the country, remember the last time you didn't give the Eagles their due? Remember the last time when they were a number 1 seed and you picked everybody else in the world to beat them and it didn't happen? Guess what? The disrespect is real. So I don't care that the 49ers had this circled. Guess what? The Eagles had this game circled too because of the whiners bitching and moaning and crying. So I think they're going to get their mouths shut today. Where do you see how small Deebo Samuel comes up today? I'm telling you this now. That dude will come up small today.
I'm even going to predict he's going to make a costly turnover of some sort, like for the team. Like he's so in his own head,
I'm going to give you this one, Al.
Niners are going to win because the Eagles are not going to stop MCM because the linebackers and D-backs playing out of position and lazy. Also, Brain Johnson in this case, Brian Johnson better call plays good, or he will be on the hot seat.
No, Ant needs to go buy a dog because if he thinks the Niners are coming in here and winning, he's nuts.
I just can't see that happen. I just can't see this Niners team again with all the pressure on their shoulders.
Ain't good. They lost to Mac Jones.
Listen,
Miami.
Buffalo is not a good team on the record this year.
They're not good on the road. They're not good on the road, but they're good at home.
They've had issues. They've had injuries. But Josh Allen's a very good quarterback. Let's call for what it is. He's definitely top 10 without a discussion.
And he kind of found himself last week.
And he had one of the career game against the Eagles and still struggled.
He was picking apart that right side of the secondary with no problem last week. And again, he was very mobile in the pocket. So like I said, going to this game though, I just think this Eagles is going to blow the door.
Here we go.
Here goes my man, Matty B.
If you're looking for a one-sided Eagles talk,
I love it. He goes,
not one-sided.
If you guys are looking for one-sided, okay.
This is the same guy who says Howie Roseman's not a good GM. Die on that island there, Matty. I'm sorry. Hey, Matty, didn't you pick the Bills to win 28-21 last week? Yeah. How did that prediction work out for you? I don't take nothing that Matty says serious.
Good morning, Chet. What's up, brother?
Chet. But listen.
To Mike's credit, the Eagles have been so dominant at home this year. It's foolish to bet against them at this point.
And it's just not that. I'm looking at – I watched the 3 games that the 49ers lost, okay? And what I'm saying is the 49ers, the way that they got beat was they got the ball ran down them. That defense got worn down. And what's the one thing the Eagles can do very well? They can run the ball. And that's all they need to do. They run the ball today. One, you keep that offense off of the field, and you chew up against that defense. That's what Cleveland did to them. That's what Minnesota did to them. And to be honest with you, they got bullied by the Bengals. The Bengals went out there and bullied them, plain and simple. I watched all 3 of those games that they lost. So, yes, the Eagles can replicate what was done to them. I don't have no faith in Brock Purdy.
So let me ask you, Mike, to kind of pump the brakes a little bit, though. Just, again, Brock Purdy releases the ball, like I said, pretty fast. He's got a nice little O-line in front of him. Are you worried at all about that secondary, the secondary getting exposed over the middle?
Yes. I think Greg Kittle could have a huge game. I really do. I think Kittle could have a huge game. I think he could have a huge game. I think Christian McCaffrey coming out of the backfield could cause issues as well.
And also, because this could be a huge game, we go to sherrystickets.com to grab your tickets for today's game or any game. I don't care where you're at. If you need sports, concerts, theater, you name it, we got it over at sherrystickets.com. Go to sherrystickets.com anywhere you live for any sports, concerts, theater needs. Great ticket prices. The price you see on the screen is the price you'll pay. You're not going to get bamboozled at checkout, and save an additional 10% off by using that promo code EOP10. That's right, EOP10 will save you 10% off at sherrystickets.com. Again, EOP10, 10% off at sherrystickets.com.
So, Al, I looked at the numbers heading into this. Of course, if you guys who like their stats, the Niners are 20-15 against the Birds. The Birds actually are better at Levi Stadium than they are at home against the San Francisco 49ers. But we can only go by the last game here, which were the most important game, and the Eagles blew the doors off them. And I think it's just going to be that track's going to be on repeat.
Hold on, I got to put this out there.
Here goes.
Guys, a reminder, phone lines are open, 484-202-0328. So Matty B, who says, by the way, he's an Eagles fan. It's the days we wondered away. He just loves to pick against them. And reminder, Matty B will be on today's pregame and postgame show, along with Pat on the postgame.
And Mitchie
Austin and Mitch. In the pregame will be Matty B, Dibes, and Mitch. And, of course, at halftime, Shane and Dives will be giving you the halftime update on the Eagles-Niners game. But I'm going to push back on Matt a little bit here because that's what we do. And I'll call it out. And he's saying it's one-sided. Yes. Have we been high on the Eagles? Yes, Matty B. We have every reason to be high on a 10-1 team coming off a Super Bowl loss, but a great season nonetheless the year before. And they have been dominant at home since then. Yes, they have some things going against them. Yes, they played more in the last 10 days than the Niners have. Yes, the Niners have probably the best team that we'll see all year long, but not the only good team. So with that being said, there's no reason for anybody to believe that the Niners are going to walk away with some explosive victory here any more than the other way around. But I think it's going to be a hard-fought game. But to sit here and call us, front runners or one-sided Eagles talk, I'm pushing back on that.
Listen, I understand his point. Look, Matty B is looking at, we're walking around. This Eagles season has been walking on eggshells, and they yet cracked an eggshell at all. You know what I mean? It's been that kind of a season with all the dogfights that they've been into. But again, have the Niners been in a dogfight where they've won? I don't know. But all I know is that they're going to find out, and granted, Brock Purdy's got.
I do know.
Well, listen.
I'll tell you. I'll give you. Here's the information. They won against Pittsburgh in the beginning of the season. Who 7-4 they are, but listen, let's call for what it is on the Steelers. They beat the Rams. They beat the Giants. They beat the Cardinals, and they beat the Cowboys, who they've always had their number.
Oh, and the Rams game was a lot closer than what that score was.
I also say it's a
rivalry
divisional game. So they lost to the Browns. They lost to the Vikings.
And they lost to the Bengals.
And they lost to a good team in the Bengals. And they have had a bye week. And then they went to Jacksonville, and they won there handedly. They beat Tampa Bay. And then, of course, they beat Seattle on Thanksgiving, bringing you to today. So, yes, they've had a good run as well. But they also haven't really beat the good teams.
Listen, everything that was being said about us a year ago is now being said about these other teams. Like, I'm sorry, like with the Cowboys, you get the Cowboys fans chirping, but they were the same ones last year telling us about who we beat and who we didn't beat. Again, you're talking about the Niners fans who said that we didn't play anybody a year ago, but you're looking at the last two games that they've played, which was impressive. Yes, did they go to Jacksonville and spank the Jaguars? Yes, but let's be real about it too. Yeah, they both had the bye week off, but Jacksonville had to fly back from Germany, right. where they
fatigue played a major X factor.
Exactly. In that, I'm sorry, you're flying from Germany. It's going to take you a couple more days to get home, even though while they're still sitting there resting. So yeah, they caught the Jags. Okay, fine, but.
And the Jags are a good team, but not a great team. Let's just call for what.
Yeah, it is. Like the Jags don't have a great defense.
And then
Trevor Lawrence is a wishy-washy quarterback. There's some games he looks amazing, and there's other games, especially big games, he comes up short.
And I want to say this too, and go off with Dia's point. Like I get it. Brock Purdy's got some phenomenal weapons.
Game time decision, Ant.
I don't think he's playing. That's my point.
Brock Purdy's got some weapons on the outside, with no doubt about it. But it's not like there's, Jalen Hurts doesn't have his own bag of goodies either. He's got an A.J. Brown. He's got Devontae Smith. He's loaded.
But this is what I'm saying right here. Read what Mike said. They lost to the Browns without Chubb, and P.J. Walker was quarterbacking. So you have no Nick Chubb and P.J. Walker.
Every good team's going to have a letdown game. We lost to the Jets,
Do I think we have another game that we're going to lose? Yeah, I just don't think it's this one.
No,
I just don't think it's this one. There's too much talking that the Niners did. Okay, for guys who were on this team that was on this team a year ago, this game is circled. It's been circled. And like I said, the Niners have been doing all the talking. And last but not least, they're dumbass fans that are close by. I'm sorry, the local yokels that are there.
Hey, some of us are sensitive to that.
Yeah, exactly. Some of their dumbass fans decide they wanted to go play. There you go.
Hey, who's that? There goes that Pete Bernard kid with the tiny.
And what's funny? He still makes the same face today.
Yeah, he's got that tiny brajol. That's Pete Bernard.
But I just think really, I think the 49ers, they just did too much talking. And I don't think they're going to have enough to back it up.
And my thing is a team that has 10 days of repair and has to talk as much as they do. I think they're scared a little bit. It's a little scared there.
And to be honest with you, like I said,
it's going to be a good game. I think. I honestly think this is going to be the best game you'll see all year.
And then here goes the thing. I hate to, but but it is the Rocky analogy here. These guys had this game circled. We're going to get revenge. Blah, blah. The Eagles are like, all right, give us your best punch and let's see if you can survive the dogfight in Philly. That's all it is. We're going to take their best punch. And, like I said, when it comes grind out time, let's see what you got. Because I know NV1 can do that. I know NV1 can put a team on his back in clutch time and carry us, through the trenches. I know this defense could come off big. And the Brandon Grahams are starting to come up and make sightings. You know what I mean? That's starting to happen.
And I'm going to push back on Insanio and Matt on this one, too. He agrees with Matt. Fans enjoy the hate and not respect. I loved it. I loved it as a Pats fan. I love it. I love the hate. You can't say you feed off the hate and want respect. I'm not talking about respect. I don't think at one time I said anything about respect.
Right.
At one point, am I talking about being respected as a fan or a team or anything? But the fact that to sit here and say that the Niners are going to run rampant on us, and that all suddenly we were the most fraudulent 10-1 team, is at this point is
and that's what it's making it sound like. That's what the national pundits are making it sound like, that we're a fraudulent 10-1. When you can't say we're fraudulent going through the last 6 game stretch that we've gone through.
And if you want to say I'm fraudulent, that's fine. But you can also say my poop tastes like purple sherbet. It don't make it true, though.
You don't know.
My point is.
Have you tried?
My point is, I'm not saying you can hate me all you want. You can say it all you want. Doesn't make it any more true.
Well, like I said, and that's the national point attendant of our fan base.
No, I mean even some of our own
but everybody on the national side wants to see the Eagles lose. They want to see the fan base. They don't want to see the good things firsthand. Like Al just said,
I don't think it matters to them.
No, but
I'm going to tell you, I don't think it matters to the national.
It's only the trolls. The trolls of Philly, guys like Craig Carton, who else? The knucklehead Skip Bayless.
Yeah.
Those type of guys. Yeah,
Well,
they will revel in it because Carton hates the Eagles, and so does
any Cowboys fans going to see if the Eagles lose today that they go, we're going to trounce them next week, even though the Niners completely demolish them.
I don't
demolish them.
I don't. I'm sorry, Niners Nation, but I don't see it happen. I don't think you guys are going to be able to walk in here and
I'll tell you what,
cheesesteak and walk out there just fine.
I'm not sitting there. I would love to see this, like what Mike feels this control game. I call it a control game, a game where they're in control the entire time. I don't know if it's going to happen that way because the way this team has played, it hasn't showed me that way. But at the same time, this team hasn't shown me that they back down from any moment.
No, they're not. There's no moment that. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you like that, but I mean, there's no moment in a game where you feel like this team's out of it. And let's call it what it is. Okay, Kyle Shanahan sucks when he's behind. If he is behind going into the fourth quarter, if he's behind, he is 1-31, which means his teams can't come back. They have to. They would have to be in control. And even with a 10-point lead, any led Shanahan team knows too that people can come back on them. So this is what I'm saying when it comes down to this game. There's so many factors that factor the Eagles in that's not being accounted for.
I think the playing possum role is going to take place with this Eagles team, just like it's been doing for the past few weeks. I mean, the first half we see the Eagles not look so good. They kind of exploit.
Yeah, but you can't do that.
I know that you can't do that in every game. I got all that, but the second half is a whole different story. Like again, they want to talk about they got Christian McCaffrey, which is fine and dandy. But it's like you guys, they forgot
what it is.
Yeah, it's a nice solid. But don't forget we have a DeAndre Swift. And if you saw last week, they opened that second half. My man was running all over that Bills defense. I mean, he was putting some major gashes out of that Bills defense. So it's not like, again, we don't have our own bag of goodies. And of course, like I mentioned earlier, Brock Purdy has nice, solid toys on the outside, but so does Jalen Hurts. And one thing Jalen Hurts has that Brock Purdy doesn't have, he's got legs to work with. And then when time is mattered, MV1 will do what's necessary to find the end zone. And plus, one thing we have is a kicker to put the icing on the cake.
That is true. I mean, but I mean, if you're going back, like you said, I felt like everything's been geared towards this. Well, they went and got Chase Young. Well, let's look at Chase Young's 2 games this year against Jordan Mailata. Yes, he did get a sack in the first game here. He did get the sack here. But that game in Washington, that very close game, Chase Young didn't sniff Jalen Hurts that game. Didn't even come near him. He shut him down. Final question to the Birds: win the Super Bowl playing the way they are now, being 10-1.
I mean, Mike, you want to take it? I mean,
should be a unanimous yes. I believe they're the best in the NFC, Matty. I believe they're going to get to the Super Bowl.
I believe the Eagles have one of the highest, if not the highest, chance to win the Super Bowl. Absolutely. What makes me think they don't? What makes me think at this point in time they don't, outside of any real serious injury to any key players, that they don't? I'm going to answer that yes. They could win, absolutely. I mean, the Chiefs game looked like a Super Bowl game, a little bit just the opposite of what we had last year. A game that went down the wire. Maybe some calls went some ways and some different things happened, but ultimately, they didn't back down. They didn't look worried, and they came in the drove. As long as there was time on the clock, they felt they had the opportunity to win. So as my eyes showed me that, yes, they beat a good AFC team in the Bills. They beat a really good AFC team in the Chiefs. They beat a really good AFC team in the Dolphins. So, and to me right now, they are the best team in the NFC because I have them power ranked number 1. So yes, Matty B, yes, yes, yes. Unanimously, yes. I'm going to say it one more time for clarification. Absolutely, yes.
Okay, so there you go. But I believe it. I kind of agree with you, Al. I think the Eagles they will represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. Like, I don't see a team in the NFC beating them. And I think those. And if you're looking at the team they're playing today, and the other team that's right behind them, the Cowboys, I feel like the Cowboys are probably the better of those two teams. I think if the Cowboys were to play the Niners on a neutral field now, I think the Cowboys would beat them. So I think, just going back off of that, like, I don't even think San Francisco is the second best team in the NFC. I think the Cowboys are.
So, again, getting ready for this heavyweight fight, again, I mentioned about it's pretty much a mirror match, and not to exclude anything, but I mean, again, going back to Matt's point about, will the Eagles are going to the Super Bowl? And to me, yes, because they've been, to Mike's credit, they've been in dogfights and they're winning every one. So when it comes to playoff times, that's all you can expect is nothing but dogfights. And this Eagles team has walked out every single one, no buts and all. But yet they've walked out with their hands raised. So I do see them putting away every team in the NFC. NFC, no problem. And listen, whoever who's going to represent the AFC. They better buckle up because this team, you want to talk about one and running back and want to win the whole thing? This Eagles team wants it bad.
My point exactly. Remember, tune in to Talking Philly Sports with Matty B every Monday night. Yes, guys, make sure you definitely do it.
I said win the Super Bowl. I said yes, win the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
I said they will represent
the NFC. I said they would represent the NFC.
I said they would represent the NFC because they feel like they're best team in the NFC right now. Prove me wrong. I don't see any.
So let me ask you.
And hold on, they beat the top 3 teams in my eyes right now in the AFC. So why would I not believe that?
So listen, they're putting away the top teams in the AFC. They put away the Cowboys, right?
I think I would be a guest star on Talking Sports with Matty B.
So if they put away this Niners team easily, with everyone complains about the OC and DC, we got to stop complaining and start giving our flowers to these guys. I get it. Look, it's not been the praise.
Listen, you're going to complain about what you want to complain about. Yeah, I'm not going to stop people from complaining. And it's not always pretty. There is imperfections in their game, but there's imperfection in everybody's game. Not one team in the NFL, especially this year, of all years, shows any perfection. There is no team who, in my eyes, is 100% running away with it. But the closest team remains in Philadelphia with the midnight green, occasionally the Kelly green, but the midnight green. They are the best. As of right now, they need to prove me wrong. Like I said, somebody asked me if the Bills or the Eagles, like, give me your prediction. I said, here's my prediction. I'm picking the Eagles. Why am I picking the Eagles? Because they haven't shown me any reason not to pick the Eagles.
Right,
they haven't shown me any reason not to pick the Eagles. Everything's going against the Eagles in this situation. The Niners had more time to rest, time to prepare.
Yeah.
The Eagles have had to really push it out, gut it out. They've had some injuries as well. But I'm still picking the Eagles. I don't see a reason why not to.
And it's like, we're not wearing the green sunglasses here, fellas. I mean, listen, I'm the guy who usually bites into my nails, right? But I'm not. I don't feel it. I just don't feel that the Brock Purdy and the 49ers are going to come into South Philly in these weather conditions, and it's just going to have a field day. We're going to have a nice day at the office. I don't see that happen.
They're not. I just don't.
I just think
playing field with no bad rain or anything.
Right. I mean, just alone. The Eagles to me are head and shoulders better than the Niners. There's tiers in the NFC. There's the bottom teams. There's this good team, and then there's
The Eagles just got to go
and
out.
they're here.
The Eagles just got to go out and
Just remind you, let me to walk it back a little bit this season. So the game 3 of the season was against the Tampa Bay Bucks. The Tampa Bay Bucks were looking good in South, South in Tampa, whatever. They were undefeated. They looked good. The pass rush, all that stuff. Eagles smoked them. Then they go out a few weeks later after that. The Eagles go out to LA and they take on the Rams, and everyone's like, "Oh, worried about the Rams. It's going to be their first out." Blah, blah. Eagles buried them. So again, with all this hype and preparation, it's going towards the Niners, and everyone hopping on that Niners train. Fine, have it your way, but I guarantee you that L is coming your way, so that you might have to soak that in. You lost to the Eagles 2 times in big X factor moments. Soak that in.
Soak it in.
Oh.
I mean, just really, it all comes down to strength on strength in this game, and I think the Eagles' offensive line, it was already shown last year.
But
the Eagles are a dominant 10-1 team. Why are the Eagles running away with this? I mean, why aren't they running away?
Are you saying why are they just not dominating? I mean, I
doesn't matter because there was a blueprint on how to play against the Eagles.
I don't remember any NFL. We have this revisionist history thing that yes, in 2017 when the Eagles won the Super Bowl, right? Let's be honest, nobody thought that was going to happen until these Eagles really got really got rolling and going, and then also boom, Carson Wentz got hurt and things looked really down. But my point is, there was a couple games where they beat really bad teams. Really, right? The Broncos walloped them. But most games, I mean, the Giants weren't a great team, and both games came down to the wire.
I know a lot of people also forget that year too.
The Raiders game.
The Raiders game.
Were terrible.
I was just about to bring up the Raiders game on Christmas. It's freezing cold. That's all I remember about that game.
So here you go for you stat guys out there. Brock versus Jalen Hurts, right? Brock Purdy, 2,000 yards, 807 yards passing, 208 completions, 19 TDs. Jalen Hurts, 2,697 yards, 242 completions, 18 TDs. Christian McCaffrey, 939 yards rushing with 11 TDs. Andre Swift, 770 yards with 4 TDs. A.J. Brown, though, is the better of the wide receivers in this core with 1,000 yards and 73 catches and 7 TDs. He's the best wideout on the field. So, again, in the past couple games, Jalen Hurts doesn't have to go with him. He has other people he can rely on, like Dante Smith and so forth. Again, what you see with the Niners team with all of his bags of goodies, I'm going to keep on going this route. The Eagles can just match it, even being just short of a.
The Eagles can match up well against.
With just short out with their starting tight end, they can just match it just well. It comes to quarterback play.
Yeah, I mean, if you look across the board, to me, in the most, if you look at them like I guess skill position by skill position, the Eagles got them at quarterback. I think the only area where San Francisco has an edge really is in the tight end game. They have a better tight end because Dallas Goedert's not playing. If you look, I know Christian McCaffrey's a great back, but so is DeAndre Swift. And you can also factor in, too, they can mix in Kenny Gainwell in there as well as far as passing-wise. So, to me, I don't know. I don't see them. I just see the Eagles pounding the ball today, and I just see them beating up that defensive line.
And you know what's really going to hurt the Niners fans? This happens today, fellas. What really, because they want to see, because they want to see the story be written. They want to see that, they want to believe in this Brock Purdy kid so bad that he is the Niner greats of quarterbacks.
Hold on.
Just let me finish that.
Go ahead.
They want to believe in him. He's like in that realm of the Joe Montanas, the Steve Youngs, the Jeff Carrs. They want to believe he's the next upcoming best thing since sliced bread. They want to believe. But what happens today if he throws 3 picks and has a horrible game? What happens? Will you then give MV1 his due? I mean, what's going to happen? Because their heart will be crushed if that happens. If Brock Purdy has a bad game with no injuries this time.
Yeah, well, they ain't got no excuse.
So
this time. So
again,
go ahead,
Mike, you're the X and O's. I want to run with you.
The only thing I wanted to say is to kind of push back on what you were saying, Pat. Is kind of lost my train of thought. I was sending somebody a message here, but my point is Brock Purdy's a good quarterback.
Oh, he is.
And for being the last pick in the whole NFL draft and that whole storyline, that's amazing. And he's very good quarterback, much better than anybody probably ever expected him to be, even himself probably. So I'm not giving that boy his due. There's nothing saying that I'm not giving his due, but I'm also not anointing him the next coming of Jesus either.
No, but that's what Niner fans want. They want to.
Well, of course you do.
Yeah.
Your 7th overall pick. You or I mean not 7th.
Our hearts will
Last
be
pick in the
ripped out.
draft. You want. Of course you want it. Like that's exactly what you want. But it's not going to work out that way.
No, and that's like I said.
Not right now, at least.
That's what's going to happen. Like again, they want to believe in this Brock Purdy kid, and they want to have that story that he's in one of the great Niners quarterbacks. And that's been their whole dynasty. But like I said, what if they run into this Eagles team that causes nothing but chaos for that kid? That's got this kid's number, that owns real estate in the front of his mind. What if they cause, like I said, what if he has 3 turnovers and no TDs? What if he just has a flat out horrible game and Jalen puts up big major numbers? It's gonna crush that fan base. It's gonna hurt them. It's going to be a punch.
No, it's not. No, it's going to be something else that it was luck, or it was the referees, or it's going to be something. It'll never be that. It'll never be that the Eagles beat the Niners straight up. And there's always going to be an underlining issue. So that's why I'm hoping that there isn't much of the, how come there is no talk about the Niners secondary? I was about to bring that up, Mike.
Niners secondary's good.
No, they're
good. I'm putting the word good on it. But they're not great. They're really good because of their front line makes them that. Because if you put a lot of pressure on the quarterback, you can look even better.
No, I don't think they're good. Like they're about average. And I'm not even going. I'm not giving them a good grade. They're average. I watched the Cleveland Browns with Donovan Peoples. What is it? Donovan Jones People, whatever his name is. I watched him and what's the tight end? Ngoku. I watched those two guys tear up their secondary, and oh man,
Steve says I do. So sincerely hope Maddie has another source of life happiness.
I think he does. But
I think my happiness is seeing my blood pressure go up. One is doing his thing. To me, it's about the Eagles' issues of following areas, running back, linebackers, in secondary. That will be their downfall. Your GM has done a poor job in addressing those areas.
No, he hasn't. No, he hasn't at all. What are you talking about? He went out and signed 2 linebackers who were playing pretty darn well. One just happened to get hurt.
But it's like, and also you're not going to be able to sign superstars at every position at every.
I mean, hey, listen, what's the guy's name? Amos just got cut today. Do you expect them to run out and go sign him? Like, I mean, Jesus, God, Matty, get off the hill,
up,
dude.
Fellas? Go Birds.
What's up, Joey?
Like I said, it's going to be.
Hill.
It's going to be an interesting matchup, that's for sure. Like I
said,
and
the Niners lost their safety too. What's his name, Tafunga or whatever his name is? They lost him, so they don't really have somebody to be crouched around now that line of scrimmage like they normally have. Again, I feel like this is really going to open up the thing for the Eagles, where the Eagles they're going to be able to exploit their middle too. With even though Greenlaw and Fred Warner are really good, they over pursue, man. That's what the Bengals and Minnesota did to them. They made them guys over pursue all game long. That's all the Eagles got to do. Like the foundation to beat the 49ers is there. It's already been proven. So the Eagles just got to go out and play their game. Eagles play their game. They're not going to lose to the 49ers.
No, I totally agree. I totally agree. Again, they're not going to know what to
Pat,
expect.
What's your?
Hold on. I mean, like I said, it's just going to be, like I said, a dogfight. But again, this Niner Nation has no idea what they're about to get themselves to. They want to look for this.
I agree, Joey. I agree. They do make a statement to them and to the rest of the league.
So,
one question real quick, and I want to leave it open ended because Matty B is about to come up on the pregame and the postgame show. And don't tell me that wasn't planned out that way. By the way,
of course,
yeah. I just want to know, and Matty B put some thought in it. If they do win today, a close game, 2 good teams fighting against each other. Say it's a 1-score game, they win by that. When is it enough? I want to know, when is it enough for Matty B? If they're 11-1, they beat all the really good teams at least once, because Dallas they already beat one, so they do play them again. The only other team that's probably really good at this point is the Seahawks. They've been kind of exposed a little bit. After that, it's 2 Giants games and Cardinals games. When is it enough?
when they beat the Cardinals.
Until they win the Super Bowl. I have a feeling that will be the answer.
Yeah.
Until they win the Super Bowl. But I want Matty B to think on that.
If they win the Super Bowl, I need my man Matty B to get himself like a custom-made Howard Roseman jersey, full Eagles jersey.
I think the NEOP should get that for him.
Yes, I definitely agree.
Yeah, and I was wrong about him.
But yeah, so Mike, you asked for the bowl prediction today.
I'm gonna go last, so you guys go right ahead.
You guys,
running back,
it's the Lord's Day, so I'll skip the first one. Running back room is one guy. Linebackers linebackers are ding week. I don't know. He brought back Slay and Bradbury. Mistake. Now, all right. Let me go through this. Yes, the running back room is mainly one guy now. Kenny Gainwell has not lived up to the hype.
Right.
He did play really well, and he was a big part of the Niners and Super Bowl game last year, as well as they brought in somebody else who thought they were going to be better, but he wasn't. Penny, Penny. So, I mean, it's, he did that. Linebackers are doing okay. I'm not going to sit there and say they're the strongest part, but they're doing okay.
But he signed linebackers. Yeah. This is the point he's trying to
and they're also trying to sign Darius
Shaq Leonard.
Yeah.
I mean, again, so you can't make, I'm sorry, you can't go out and spend, there is a salary cap in football. They can't just go out and just, okay, well, we need to do this, we need to do that. Yeah, guys left because they got offered more money.
Listen,
but my point is because it's okay to be critical, but it's also okay not to be critical too.
Right.
Okay,
and listen,
but it's okay to look at things like understanding that this team at every position is not going to be a superstar. That if you're gonna bolster one area, pay a guy a lot of money like your quarterback, it's going to take away from some areas in some ways. So again, it's every area is not going to be a 10.
And I thought Zach Cunningham and Nicholas Morrow were good pickups. They were good pickups. The guy who can't stay on the field is
Angry.
He said maybe he will start when the Eagles when they win Super Bowl. Come on, man, unreal. How many games do they have to win for this dude?
Man, NFL contracts are written now. You can't build a super team anymore.
All right. Anyway, let's get to our predictions.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Ahead, Pat.
I think the Birds are going to blow them out here. I think it's going to be a 27-10 win. Birds.
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Two weird gut feelings. I mean, the team is going to be going back and forth. The team will not be out of it. I think the tired legs will play a factor in it for the Eagles a little bit. But I think this team will come up with a victory in the end. It's going to be a close game, maybe again a 3-point game, maybe even in OT. But I think the Eagles will gut one out at home with this team, with this fan base behind them. And they've just been doing it. Why would in 10 games, in 10 wins, this is how they won. Why would I pick anything different?
Right. What do you have there, Cupcakes?
No. What was the score?
I'll go 28-24 Eagles.
28-24.
I don't think it's close. Okay. I don't think it's close at all. I think the Eagles smack them, and they smack them in the mouth, and the Eagles become the bully today. I think we get to see their best game throughout the year, and I don't think it's close. I think they get the Brock Purdy. I'm saying 37-20, and I don't think they get the Niners don't get to the 20 spot.
I like it
until we will be sitting comfortably like we did a year ago. The Eagles will shoot. I think the Eagles show them why they are the best team in the NFC, and they leave the rest of the nation talking. This is their get right game.
I like it. I like it a lot. So, guys,
I may be wrong, but it's just a feeling.
He may be right.
Al, give me your game to watch for today.
The Eagles Niners.
Well, besides that one,
not really many to be honest with you. I'm looking at the schedule right here in front of me. I mean, if you care about the Colts Titans, if you care about that division, jeez, I honestly don't know.
Well, for me, it's going to be that last, the wild card spot. Like you said, it's not, nothing grabbing your junk here, but the Broncos and Texans would probably be the.
That might be a good game to watch.
It will be the most exciting one on the slate.
I don't know if it'll be the most exciting one or not.
Well, no, but right.
I want to watch, believe it or not, to all EOP fans, be crucial of your Philly sports team. Make sure these hoes exercise their demons. Oh
And
God!
the funny thing about this game, ultimately, in my eyes, is
I love Maddie.
if they lose,
Yes.
they win. The Eagles lose or win. It doesn't end the season for me. It doesn't change.
Right.
It doesn't change the outcome. I would have liked to see them win. Of course, I'm an Eagles fan, but I know how everything's kind of lining up to be very tight. So when something's tight, that means it can go either way.
And it is.
But
Look, it's a
I still
win-win
think the
either.
Eagles can win this.
And it's a win-win either way because if they don't win today, they just go down to Dallas and beat the brakes off them. It's fine.
And that's the other thing Mike's putting out here. Reddick has 2 sacks. Jalen Carter has 1 sack. They're not going to have problems. You're going to sacking the quarterback like they did against the Chiefs and Josh Allen.
Oh, and another question. You guys were talking about games to watch today. NFC implications, man. There's a good one on New Orleans, Detroit at New Orleans. That should be a good
I
one.
guess that's because Detroit lost. They've
Yeah.
had a couple clunkers. If they lose another one to the Saints, that's
All right.
puts them a little distance with them.
Well,
us.
here, let me give you my 6-pack for today.
You got it. Whip it out.
My 6-pack will be those Detroit Lions minus the 4 in the house of the New Orleans Saints. I also have the Atlanta Falcons minus 2.5 over those New York Football Jets. I am taking the Pittsburgh Steelers minus 5.5 over the Arizona Cardinals as they come to Pittsburgh. The Miami Dolphins are a 9.5-point road favorite against the Washington Commanders. I'm going with them. Late game action, I have the Tampa Bay Bucks minus, where are they at? Minus 5.5 over those Carolina Panthers. And tonight, I'm going with Kansas City minus 6 against those Green Bay Packers. So there's my 6-pack. Actually,
Insanio was what no love for the Pats versus Chargers. Yeah, sorry, no,
Sorry.
not really must see TV.
No, not really grabbing my junk.
Listen, it's Insanio. It's probably going to be nasty weather up there as it is down here. I'd be real shocked. So it's bad enough we got to watch one of our games in the wetness. But yeah, I'm actually going to be looking forward to that Detroit New Orleans game. I think that
Okay.
could be a really good one.
All right. Well, and of course, we got to end it. Mike, meal of the day.
Oh, dude, Crock-Pot's already on.
Is it?
Meatballs are made. Meatballs
Are swelling?
We're doing meatball sandwiches.
Sweaty
today.
meatballs. Not like
No,
some
not
sweaty.
sweaty. Not sweaty,
Oh,
dude. They're
oh.
just meatballs.
Oh.
I don't know what you're into.
Everyone has. It's the time. It's the time of the year to have some sweaty balls.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
So
The day ends in Y for Pat.
So what type of pasta are you having this week?
I'm not having no
He's
fun.
coming over to your house bringing the pasta for your meatballs.
Oh, God.
Mike's having beef stroganoff. It's a good one. My wife loves beef stroganoff. I mean, I like it, but she goes crazy for prison food.
Really?
Yeah.
I love a good beat off. So for me, no love for the past period. Yeah, absolutely, Muffler Mike. So again, for me, I don't know, man. I don't really want pasta. I just want a nice big fat ravioli. That's all.
That's pasta. Dude, hand in your Italian card, dude. Just hand it in, dude. Just hand it in. I don't want no pasta, so I think I'll just have
I think we're
ravioli.
gonna have some bread with garlic on it.
Not garlic bread, just bread with garlic.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, that's going to be my meal of the day. I mean, and then, like I said, the 4
Already
o'clock
sounds like you
games.
got a little foot in your mouth for your meal today.
Yeah, the 4 o'clock games. I love 4 o'clock games. I think they're awesome.
Yeah, I like my 1 o'clock game.
Really, you're a 1 o'clock guy?
Yeah, I'm a 1 o'clock guy.
Oh, I love 4
I'm
o'clock.
old and I have 4 kids.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I'm older than you, and I love the primetime games.
Yeah,
I don't like
love
getting
4
up for
o'clock.
them the next morning, but I love
Yeah.
watching them. When all eyes are on you, yeah.
Yeah,
To me, I always felt like, growing up, that's all we got were, Dave Yarno.
no, there goes. He knows all about the
Dave's
stuffed
not
shells.
having pasta,
What's
but
up?
he's having stuffed shells.
Right.
Yes, yes. Good
Hey,
man,
well,
Dave.
listen, Dave gets to take this Sunday off and,
Relax. Yeah.
relax. Steve said he wonders if FSU gets screwed in 2 hours. Most likely. They got-
Oh, Pat likes spaghetti and meatballs. Yeah, I love it. I love a big thing.
Maybe lamb and tuna fish.
So again, guys, like I said, before we get out of here, we're all predicting the Birds to win. It should be a great week.
Because we're
ahead.
all wearing our green
Yes.
glasses and we don't look at things objectively.
I'm glad Matty B's doing
so-
this post-game show because when the
yeah.
Eagles blow them out, I'm going to be right there. And even if they lose, I'll still come on there. I'll take my ear beating, but I just don't see them coming. They got to come. They're coming cross country. You really think they're going to come cross country and beat the Eagles like that? No way.
No way. But
No
look,
way.
guys, stay tuned because we have the pregame coming up. We have the halftime, postgame. EUP's got that covered for you. And of course, at 9:00 tonight, again, like I mentioned early in the show, we have all across all the time. So, guys who love, all the NLL recaps will be going down tonight. Me, Gary, Sean, Muffler Mike. It's all going down 9:00, guys. Stay tuned to EOP. Get all your contact. Please hit that subscribe button, whether you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, wherever.
Football, Twitter.
Yeah.
All
Twitter.
social media.
Yeah, all social media, guys. Subscribe today. Get it tuned. All right, guys.
All right, so I guess for Al Safiri, Pat Bernard.
Yes. Go Birds. Have your sweaty meatballs.